Hi, it's Nero here from Investment Rise, and the August results are in. And again, for now the 11th month in a row, the national median house price continues to rise. But if I'm a journalist and I need to get views to my articles, writing a headline that says, Australian house prices rise again is pretty boring. That's why I'm starting to see more and more headlines like this. Weaker demand, higher stock to slow house price growth. And this is from the Financial Review. The unparalleled growth in home prices over the past year is expected to slow further, with the pool of buyers not deep enough to absorb the amount of stock sellers are likely to unleash once the lockdowns end. Now, let's just analyze this for a moment. The lockdowns end. That's a term that was referred to in this article. But which areas have been most affected by lockdowns in Australia? Well, of course, it's been Sydney and Melbourne, right? Our two biggest markets. I mean, most of the rest of the country have had very short lockdowns, if lockdowns at all. So this article is based heavily on what the journalist, I guess, and the contributors to this article believe will happen in Sydney and Melbourne. And then they're just going, well, that's going to happen nationally. So yes, it's skewed towards Melbourne and Sydney. And I guess in some ways that does make sense because those are the two cities that have our highest populations. But if you're an investor, you need to look past these headlines. You need to actually look at the data. Okay, and that's what I'm about to do. Now, again, I'm only going to focus on houses because I'm seeing lots of articles at the moment where they use the term dwellings or homes because that allows them to combine the growth rates for both houses and apartments. Now, if you've been following my work for any length of time, you will know that I've shared lots and lots of data which categorically shows that the rate of price growth in houses over the long term is significantly more than the rate of price growth in apartments, even often in the very same suburb. So let's go look at the data for August right now, and this is from CoreLogic. Now what we can see here is that in August in Sydney, house prices rose by 1.9%. Now if you annualize that, so that's 1.9% each month for the next 12 months, you would get over 20% price growth in houses in Sydney. Right, that's significant. That is an absolute property boom. Okay, so yes, 1.9% average growth might be, say, less than what it was earlier on this year, but it's still significant. Okay, then we go look at Melbourne. House price growth for August, 1.4%, one of the slowest in the country. Then Brisbane, 2.1%, Adelaide, 2.1%, Perth. They didn't have any data for Perth because CoreLogic said that there was some reporting glitch in the way house prices were reported. In other words, it wasn't accurate, so they didn't report about Perth data. Okay, we look at Hobart, 2.2% growth for the month of August. Darwin actually went backwards, and then Canberra again 2.4%. All right, so now that we've gone through the data, let's have a look at what this means to you as an investor and why you should or shouldn't care. And let me begin by saying why you actually shouldn't care. Because here's the thing. If you're looking to either buy your home in Sydney or Melbourne, or you have decided based on your financial profile and your goals that buying an investment property, a house in Sydney or Melbourne is right for you and your situation, then the data clearly shows that now is the best time to buy. Okay, the data shows that prices are still rising, and the only question is how much they're going to rise by, right? But if you're looking to buy a house in Sydney or Melbourne, you've decided that's right for you, that's an irrelevant topic of conversation because all that you need to know is that based on the data, house prices in a year's time will be worth more than they are right now. So therefore you want to get in and buy as soon as you can. However, if you are an investor, purely an investor, looking to find the best places to buy in for long-term capital growth, then these rates of price growth actually do matter. Because as an investor, what you want to do is you want to work out, well, where is the best place to put your money to get the best return? And so do you want to focus on areas that are slowing down in price growth? Or do you want to focus on areas that are accelerating in price growth? Pretty simple, right? You want to focus on the areas that are accelerating in price growth. And clearly the data is showing that is our smaller capital cities. Okay. Now, of course, our bigger capital cities, even though the rates of price growth are slowing down in Sydney and Melbourne, property prices, especially in the housing market, they're not going to fall anytime soon. Okay. Now, I know there are people out there who perhaps don't have the 19 years of personal investing experience that I have, or the 11 years of experience helping us invest in property, and who don't have the qualifications that I have, will tell you that, oh, what goes up must come down, right? And in a nutshell, they're wrong. They were wrong in 2012 when they said Sydney and Melbourne house prices were overvalued back then. They were wrong in 2020 when they said house prices were going to drop by like 30%, and they're wrong again. Okay, so house prices are not going to fall. The only questions here are how much house prices will rise by and which areas are expected to rise by more as a percentage. And that's what's important to you as an investor. Okay, because you clearly want to find the best areas to invest in. And right now, according to the data, it certainly seems like many of our smaller capital cities are poised to outperform both Sydney and Melbourne. Right? So, and this is something I've been talking about for quite some time. In fact, that's why so many of our members and clients have done so well. One of our members, she bought in April and she paid $460,425 for a 4-bedroom house. Today, in September, similar properties are selling for $519,000 in her very same suburb that she bought in. Okay, so that's $60,000 or about 15% capital growth in just 6 months. And this area still has a lot more to grow yet. Okay, so now don't get me wrong, buying properties today in good areas for $450,000 or under is almost impossible. But if you're someone who's got a budget of $500,000 or $550,000 or even higher, this is a very exciting time for you, because many of the areas that fit your budget have actually got great potential for growth and are expected to actually outperform the more traditional areas of Sydney and Melbourne. So this is a great time for you to capitalize. Now, of course, you need to do your due diligence and get some professional help. But if you do, I certainly believe that there are many areas right now where the price point is, say, under $600,000 that have great potential for capital growth while also giving you very, very strong rental returns. So as a property investor, it's a very exciting time for you right now. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you found this video valuable and you're thinking you might like my help to help you find an investment property, then head on over to nerocall.com to discover our unique 5-step process that's helped my private client group purchase now well over $66.2 million worth of property. And then if you like what you see, you can book in for a half-hour phone consult with me personally. Either way, thanks again for watching.